Lionsgate Motion Picture Chair gives update on Michael 2, estimated production start and release date. Jaafar Jackson, Michael sequel, will give more insight into child abuse allegations and let his voice be heard. Now, guys, this is the last topic of the day. Film came out early this year. It was highly anticipated, one of my most anticipated films of 2026, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. Unfortunately, or maybe y'all don't care, it didn't do that well as far as the critics is concerned on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, Chris is a Rotten Tomatoes member, and I believe he gave it a positive score, but it's at a 38% right now, but 97% from the audience. If we will go over the cinema score, I believe it has like a A minus. When I looked it up earlier, I don't know why it doesn't want to come up, but yeah, A minus. And it made a hell of a lot of money at the box office. $1 billion, Chris. That's a lot of bread, man. That's a lot of bread. And so, but a lot of people was hating on the movie. They're like, wait a minute, what about the child allegations? Or they didn't even call it, he's guilty. Why are y'all praising him? He's a monster. He was helping Epstein. It's a bunch of mess. And it's like, wait a minute, the movie is not even covering that. So you're cheating in your review. And plus, if you're a critic and you're a journalist, you know behind the scenes that they filmed that mess and had to remove it because of legal obligations, but you didn't put that in your review. But anyway, the film was a success across the board for people that really matter the most, and those are the people that are showing up with their money, which brings us to this right here. Lionsgate Motion Picture Chair gives update on Michael 2, estimated production start and release date. Lionsgate Motion Picture Group Chairman Adam Fogelman gave an update on the highly anticipated sequel to the studio's Michael Jackson biopic, telling analysts on a Q1 call that we are targeting a production start towards the end of the year or early next year. As far as we'll see the sequel to Lionsgate's highest grossing $1 billion plus movie, Ferguson shared, I think that the end of 27 and the first half of calendar 28 will be the current thought of roughly where the movie will go. Ferguson couched these statements by emphasizing we're not ready to announce everything at the moment, which, Chris, I think is smart. You shouldn't do that until it's just set in stone and you know. He was asked by analysts on a call about the profit structure of the first pick, particularly in regards to his share with the Jackson estate and Universal, which licensed foreign, as well as the budget of the sequel, given the fact that there's an amount of footage already banked from the first production, which I've just talked about. We do have a number of sequences, particularly some big musical sequences that were shot previously that are almost sure to be incorporated. But we are mostly focused right now on how to make sure we can deliver at the right price. The biggest, best sequel, says Fogelson. That is what the audience is going to want and deserve after the experience we gave them the first time. So we're not ready to give audience on the budget yet. Does the audience really care about it that much, other than us geeks? I want your commentary on that. But we certainly will be able to take advantage of some of the stuff that we previously shot, as I said before. Chris, what are your thoughts on these comments so far from Fogelson?
I mean, I was very critical of how they were handling the announcements of the first movie. I thought it was extremely kind of overly pocketed. You even ended the movie with his story continues, but we still don't know for sure if they're making a second one. Of course, he's talking about it now, but he said we're not ready to announce anything yet. But you go to see Wicked one, and then you're like, you're gonna see Wicked two next year. I know the Spider-Man delay was a little, we didn't like the Spider-Man delay, Spider-Verse, but we still knew that it was coming. So I just think you just can build some. You don't have to announce everything, but you can just say yes, we're making this movie. I don't know why they're so tight-lipped about it. You can just say look, this movie's coming, we're making this, but it's all very, yeah, we're working on it, but we don't want to announce anything. It's what are you talking about then? Why are you talking about it? You might not make it. What would make you not make it? You made $1 billion. It's the most expensive movie, most profitable movie you've ever made. So why wouldn't you make it? And then if you are going to make it, just say you're making it. You don't have to give us the details.
I like it, man. I pretty much agree with everything you said. The release date of Michael was delayed from November of last year to the final weekend of April this year. During production, the Jackson estate overlooked the inclusion of the pop singer's accusers in the John Logan written script. The sequence was already shot and forced $50 million worth of reshoots, which the Jackson estate covered. Still, there was a significant amount of footage shot on the Anton Fuqua directed Graham King production, which provided the catalyst, for a sequel. And so that's I'm gonna come back to that. That's what brings us up to the second article right here from Variety. Jaafar Jackson, Michael's sequel will give more insight into child abuse allegations and let his voice be heard. Now that the second Michael movie is closer to starting production, star Jaafar Jackson said it will indeed address those things. Michael Jackson's nephew says that while he doesn't have much to say in how the screenplay is written, he tells GQ Middle East that he hopes the sequel will give more insight into Michael's perspective. It's someone else's story, Jaafar Jackson said. It's someone else's idea of what it is, and it's mainly driven by an agenda. And that's really the issue we've been having as a family, not having Michael's voice being heard. I think that's very, very important, especially in the late years. The biopic rocked, or we just talked about that. Do you agree with his comments? And are you looking forward to this sequel? And do you think that they're handling it the right way and or will address the allegations or the accusers the right way?
Yes, of course, I'm definitely looking forward to the sequel. There's not enough movie in part one, but it's too complicated to put into one movie.
Right.
Number two, myself and the most of the fans were I wanted to see the allegations addressed in the first movie. The problem with you can't put the allegations in there to please critics because the average critic is usually ignorant to the Michael Jackson story, the Michael Jackson case, and I'll hijack this whole live for another 2 more hours. So I will be
You're
brief about
good.
this
You're
topic
good. You're good.
because I'm passionate about it. But the idea that the movie was sugarcoated by removing the allegations is nonsense. Because number one, if you put the allegations in there and you say Michael Jackson was the victim of extensive extortion plans, they're going to say, "Oh, well, of course the estate's going to say that. You can't please him until you show them him literally abusing kids on screen. They're never going to be happy. So don't let them fool you. If you're Graham King watching this, don't let them fool you by saying we just want to see the allegations. They don't want to see the allegations. They want to see guilty. Let that be clear. I'm happy to put it
Good
on the
point.
screen because I know that it's easy to explain. It's easy to film. It makes perfect sense how this happened and why how we got here, like why he was accused of these things. The people that know Mike, not the random person on Twitter or the random person.
Oh, we lost him. But it says the first film focuses on Michael from his roots, Jackson said. So you get that idea of who he was before he had all the success and became the icon that people are familiar with. You understand who he was as a human being first, because at the end of the day, that's who he was in the 90s until he passed. He never changed that
Hello,
purity,
hello, hello.
that sense of always wanting to find the good in other people. And no matter all the stuff he went through, how he was treated, what things were said about him, he never stopped treating people with kindness. He never stopped believing in and wanting to look for the good in people. Even though he was broken, his heart still stayed the same. I hope that this is felt in the second movie. Me too. Me too. And I think it will be, especially with the criticism that the first, the first movie did get a lot of criticism, but it got a lot of praise as well. And so, with it being under that type of microscope, I think that the creators involved in this movie are going to be extra careful with trying to depict this the right way to make sure that, all fans across the board can be happy. And so, they don't want a repeat of the first film where people was like, what about this? What about that? Why are you messing this up? And it should be like this, They don't want that. So Anton Fuqua, the estate, Universal, all the executives, all the producers, I think are going well out of their way. And maybe the second film can make $2 billion. I'm just joking, but that would be that would be amazing if that did happen. And so, yeah, guys, they are moving forward with the Michael sequel. And again, it made all the money. It made $1 billion worldwide. Made $1 billion worldwide, and it made more than Bohemian Rhapsody. And so, We got this update right here with the production and the release date. And Javar Jackson is talking about, Michael's voice being heard. And I can hear you, Chris. You got any final thoughts on the Michael sequel?
Well, just as a curiosity, you have like your favorite biopics. We're talking about that. Like, what's something that you wanted to see more from the first one that you hope that you get from the second one that'll make you be like, all right, this was 5 out of 5.
Well, I was pretty thrilled with the first film. They could have just went into more detail with everything. I wish that Janet was included. There was another black lady that was prominent in the Jackson Five's life. Was it Diana? Yeah, Diana Ross. She wasn't in the movie at all.
Yeah,
Um,
she was played by Cat Graham.
she
She
who?
was casted. She was casted. Cat Graham was casted, but not in the movie. But
Okay,
a lot of those things are because they had to reshape the third act. They probably had to cut certain things out. Like they filmed some stuff from filming The Wiz that had to be reshaped and all that. And apparently Janet wants to make her own movie or her own biopic, and so she was a little bit like I guess cautious about being added to this one.
I can understand that. One thing I would say that the movie was 2 hours and 7 minutes. I feel like it should have been much longer. Like
Mm.
every aspect of the movie, I did like, but they could have went deeper into each of them. Like it's Michael Jackson. I
Yeah,
mean, this could have been three movies, four, if you want to cover the whole story. And I think if it's the most popular human being in the planet ever, other than Jesus Christ, that's a good reason to stretch it out. I wouldn't mind having a Michael cinematic universe or like a Motown cinematic universe, like have Michael movies, have a Janet movie, have a Supremes movie or series, but just like the MCU.
yeah.
It's not like people are not gonna go see it. Biopics or make money in general. They all do. And then this made $1 billion. So you
Yeah, it's a
have
lot of like
every
I told you so. I thought
you,
the
you,
craziest part of this whole thing is like you announced Michael, and of course, like I agree with everything you said. Could have been longer, could have dug deeper, and then you know lines you can say, "Oh, it's just a movie." Da da da. We got 2 hours, but I'm like, bro, like y'all gave the Beatles 4 movies, one for each
yeah.
of the Beatles. Like, come on, we're not doing this, bro. Like you have the presidents right there. Like they said, like, all right, we're giving these guys 4 movies. That's nuts. And Michael's bigger and better, so like you have no excuse.
What is there anything that you would want to see to make you happy about this?
I mean, we talked about it already, the allegations, and I agree with what you said. Just like we want to see, like I don't mind that Janet's not there, so I can't be mad if people don't want to be a part of it because of their reasoning. But you just need to teach people like you got to lean into the different elements that people just don't see because this one was about like, hey, let's play the music. They want to see the hits. They touch on, of course, on some humanitarian stuff, but that's what I want to see, like the real, like the human side of this dude. Like, what was he really like? What would have really caused him to act this way? What would, like that kind of stuff is all what I want to see. I get they have to sell tickets, right? So you have to show Thriller, and I do want to see that. But like the fans, like whatever the like, diehard Nick nerds, like we're like, just show like the people like what he really was like, and that's like the whole like the beauty of any biopic. It's like I don't know nothing about Queen, but I was able to see Freddie from like that side of what he was like just with the bands and all that. That's kind of what I look for in any biopic. So how they did it makes sense. I'm just saying now that you got another movie, you got a little bit more leeway. It's kind of like a second term president. Like you can't get reelected again. You got a hit on your hands. It's gonna be rare for someone to not watch the second one if they watch the first one. So like, because only make more money.
Right on, right on. I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it'll be even better than the first one. I think it'll be make more money as well. And so there's our update, guys, from Michael 2, as far as the production start and release date and the allegations that Javar Jackson said that they will address. Whether you're watching this via live on the replay, please let us know your thoughts because we do check out all the comments.